Are you an entrepreneur struggling to succeed? You're getting frustrated trying to make your business work? Well, I get it. I understand. I've been there. I've done that. Today, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to look in the mirror and take a hard look, assessment to see if you're the reason why you're not reaching your full potential. I know sometimes we don't like to look at ourselves as the possibilities of why we're not moving forward. But we're going to examine 3 types of entrepreneurs that would never succeed, no matter how hard they work, no matter how much money they have, and no matter how great their business ideal is. So I want you to sit back and I want you to evaluate if any of these traits that I mentioned are a part of you. And if so, I'm going to tell you how to overcome these traits. And at the end, I'm going to tell you the thing that ties them together that you can throw out to make sure it never comes back again. Go ahead and get your notepad and pen, and let's go ahead for this ride. Hey, folks, I recommend Regis, where you get office space your way. Hey, welcome to a random podcast where we challenge the status quo and we empower people like you to think differently. Let's go ahead and just dive in right away. The number one entrepreneur that would never succeed is a know-it-all. Yep. We all know somebody like this, or we might be like this. I have been accused of being a know-it-all in the past. And I had to do an assessment whether that was correct or not. And sometimes it's hard to reflect inside and admit that you have faults. But as an entrepreneur, as a person looking to succeed, you have to do a true evaluation and you have to be honest with yourself. And what I noticed was that there was an element of me knowing it all, because I'm a reader. I read a lot. I absorb a lot of information. So I mistaken me reading and learning something as me knowing something. And that's not the same thing. When you put yourself in a position of knowing it all, what you do is you block your blessings, you block your opportunities, you block your development, because you won't receive feedback, you won't enhance, you won't develop, because you need outside influence. You need people to pour into your life to be able to give you ideals, whether it's your products or whether it's your service or whether it's just you as a person. And if you don't allow this to happen, you won't grow and your business is going to basically putter. And another thing, people don't like a know-it-all. You know that. People just don't like a know-it-all. They're like, okay, they know it, so I'm not going to tell them, because they know you won't receive it. And this is all detriment to your business. Now, another thing that's very common with know-it-all, which could be common in all of these particular entrepreneurs, is the micromanaging as well. It really does 2 things. It stresses you out. It spreads yourself thin because you try to do everything. The only way that it can be done is if you touch it, if you do it, because the people underneath you don't know what they're doing. Right. The second thing is that you can give you high turnover. And high turnover is going to lead to less productivity and it's going to stop growth. So how did I overcome this? This is something that I recommend you do. You take a piece of paper, you have 3 lanes, 3 columns. The first column is called your wheelhouse, your expertise, which you know. The thing that you have experience with, the thing that you have done, the thing that you are seasoned in, the thing that you're an expert at. You list that in that column, that lane. That is your lane. Then you have the middle column. And these are the things that you have read, that you have received knowledge of, that you are aware of, that you have educated yourself on. That's that lane. So you have experience, expertise, seasoned. You have knowledge in the middle lane. And then the last lane and column is the truthful column, what you don't know about. If you don't know about accounting, but you know about how to run a restaurant, then guess what? Then you're not an expert in accounting, so you need to listen to somebody who's in the accounting field. So that goes into that column, because you can't know it all. So anytime someone gives you feedback, anytime somebody wants to collaborate with you, anytime that you receive any information, you go to your columns and you see where it belongs. If you go, yeah, I read about it, I have some information about it, I'm educated about it, but I'm not an expert at it, then you need to be acceptable to what is being said to you and evaluate and see how you can utilize it and take that feedback as positivity. If they come into the lane where you have no knowledge, no experience at, then you need to shut up and listen, period. If it's in your wheelhouse, guess what? You still need to listen. There might be something you miss, but you're able to have a better conversation and maybe collaborate and come to a conclusion. This is how you overcome the know-it-all trait. And this will help you succeed and overcome any roadblock that you might be facing right now as you're trying to make your business grow. Let's get on to number two. Number two, I have met people like this. It is the perfectionist. Oh my goodness. It has to be perfect before we can launch, before we can open up, before we can let people know about it. It has to be perfect. Wrong answer. It never will be perfect. Number one, you're going on your expectations. Your expectations do matter, but it doesn't matter as much as the customer, as the client, because you might deliver them a product and they said that it is 50% flawed, even though you think it's perfect. And by you trying to fix every little thing to make it perfect, what you're really doing, you're really letting everyone know that you're scared, because that's what you are. You're scared. You're scared of the failed product or service. That's why you keep trying to tinkerer and trying to get it right, because you're scared to go into business. You're scared to launch it. You're scared to have it out there. You're scared to see what the feedback is. You're scared of rejection. That's what the perfectionist is scared of. And as long as you do that, your product will sit on the shelf. Your service will never be received, and therefore you're going to fail anyway. So why go into business? The quicker you get your product out there, the quicker the marketplace can tell you what's wrong, so that you can perfect it to what the marketplace wants. So speed to market is very important. And I would never go in business with anybody who's a perfectionist. I would never invest any money with anybody who's a perfectionist, because I'm not going to sit there all day and night and try to fix something to the point where it's overkill. We just need to get it out there where it's acceptable and be able to get the feedback that we need to get. I learned a long time ago, what you do is you roll out what you have, and then you add the features later, version 2, version 3, version 4, because you might find out that some of those features were not necessary. So the way that you overcome that is get it out there sooner and be okay with receiving feedback. All right, number 3. I think a lot of people fall into this category. I had a big issue with this category, and I still work on it every day. That's the blamer. The blamer is the person who blames the marketplace, blames investment money, and blames partners, blames customers, blames everyone but themselves or the product or the service itself. Sometimes we get caught up in this because we feel like we did the best job on the product, and that the product or the service is correct, and that the marketplace just isn't receiving it correctly. Well, the marketplace is the one that corrects it for you. So yes, it could have been a good product or service, but guess what? If they don't receive it, then it wasn't. It wasn't what the marketplace needed. Let's talk about investment money. If you're not receiving the investment money, yes, there are reasons that you're not receiving it that could be legitimately to blame. But at the same time, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? You're going to get creative and find alternative ways. Sitting there and just blaming and doing nothing about it is not going to fix the problem. You have to roll up your sleeves and say, I understand what the situation is, and attack it anyway. Blaming business partners, you picked them. You picked them, right? Blaming anything in your life, you become a victim. I'm not saying that you shouldn't point out the obvious, that this is an issue. That's a problem. Yeah, they did this and they did that, and it's not working because of this. You can't sit there and wallow and blame the world and go, woe is me, and think you're going to succeed in business. Man up, woman up, and get the job done. Now, out of all 3 of these, there are common things that's inside of each one of these, and it is ego. Ego is the big thing in all 3 of these things. Your ego's so big that you think you have to perfect it. Your ego's so big you think you know it all. Your ego's so big that you figure you can't be to blame. So I'm going to say, check your ego if you want to succeed. Now, that's the trait that I'm telling you to look for. If you have an ego problem, then that's going to prevent you from being able to be successful in your venture. And that's something I had to check. You got to check your ego. It's okay to be confident, but you have to check your ego. Now, if you felt that this was very helpful for you, then I want you to pass along to other people who might need it. But also, I want you to check out this video here where it talks about the 5 reasons why startups crash and burn. And check out this one over here where it can help you be able to grow as well. This is your boy J.I., a random podcast. I'll holler at you on the other side.